welcome to Clever News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Women Affairs Minister spills the beans, says altercation between herself and National Assembly was due to her refusal to sign what she calls dubious $500 million loan. Israeli forces order evacuation of civilians from parts of Gaza humanitarian zone ahead what it terms forceful operation. Max Air knocked over technical negligence as aircraft tires carrying 119 passengers and 6 crew members burst during takeoff. I am Florence Joshua with these and more. Former Governor Nass El-Rufai has petitioned the Federal High Court accusing a judge, Rilwanu Akaiwa, of bias in a case he filed against the state government and State House of Assembly. El-Rufai sued the two bodies for alleged infringement of his rights while investigating alleged financial management by his administration between 2015 and 2023. He asked the Federal High Court to declare unconstitutionally the report of the State Assembly indicting him of mismanaging about 423 billion naira from loans obtained by his administration. We have a commentary.
This commentary is coming on the heels of a petition by former Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State to the Federal High Court, accusing a judge, Rilwanu Aikawa, of bias in a case he filed against the state government and State House of Assembly. El-Rufai asked the Federal High Court to declare unconstitutional the report of the State Assembly indicting him of his managing about 423 billion naira from loans obtained by his administration. The immediate past chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Kaduna State Chapter, Reverend Dr. John Joseph Hayab, has called on Kaduna citizens to unite and insists that justice is done over revelations of alleged money laundering and squandering of public funds against the immediate past governor, Nasir El-Rufai, and his appointees. He added that everyone must be compelled by law to refund the collective fortunes of the citizenry or face the consequences prescribed by law. Hayab stated this in a write-up titled, "When the Lion Eats the Forbidden Meat," which reflects on the report of Kaduna State House of Assembly's ad hoc committee, which investigated the loans collected by the El-Rufai administration. He said the money that is unaccounted for, as reported by the Kaduna State House of Assembly committee, calls for wonder if those who cornered the fortunes of the state into private pockets have any conscience at all. Hayab added that the other cause for worry is why should the masses of Kaduna suffer when very few individuals stash away loans purportedly taken to better their lives and at the end of the day deny the populace the services promised them. In Clearview News Desk, we have a culture of balancing stories, and while pursuing this, we decided that we approach the son of El-Rufai known as Bello. Remember him? He is a member representing Kaduna North Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, who declared that Nigeria lost an effective administrator in his father, former Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai, after the Senate rejected his appointment as minister. Bello said it took his pleas and those of other family members for his father to accept the ministerial nomination from President Bola Tinubu in the first instance. So, we have decided not to use him to balance our story on alleged mismanagement of about 423 billion naira by his father, and we therefore took a U-turn as he was busy attacking the Kaduna State House of Assembly. This attack led to the Speaker, Yusuf Liman, cautioning him, Bello, against intimidating the Assembly regarding its investigation into his father's 8-year tenure. A statement released by Liman's spokesman, Suraj Bamali, revealed that Bello El-Rufai, a member of the House of Representatives, made provocative remarks about the lawmakers on social media of course, which he later deleted, and sent the speaker disrespectful messages via WhatsApp. Liman affirmed that such intimidation wouldn't deter the assembly from ensuring justice and accountability, as he reiterated the assembly's commitment to its oversight role and upholding the rule of law in Kaduna State. The actions of Bello El-Rufai were described as erratic and unruly. The screenshots of these tweets and messages have been widely circulated, causing concern among the citizens of Kaduna State. Well, it is disheartening that a federal lawmaker entrusted with representing the people will resort to such behavior, attempting to obstruct the lawful functions of the State Assembly. So we, at Clearview, are disturbed that the so-called tough posture the former governor displayed, with an air of know-it-all, could be associated with the typical way lions in the jungle behave, chasing away other animals only to eat all accrued meat alone. Besides, the sad development tells a lot about the damage praise singing can cause society, whether at the federal, state, or local level. What is more worrying is that many talented and industrious, young, educated persons who should be in the front calling on leaders to be accountable now seem dedicated to praise singing, trying to paint individuals in leadership positions with little or no integrity to look angelic for a pot of soup at the expense of generations unborn. On account of the charge of preliminary findings on the dealing by El-Rufai's led government, Clearview strongly appeals to Kaduna State citizens to unite and insist that justice is served. Anyone who fails to account for the collective fortunes of the citizenry should be compelled by law to refund the funds sidetracked or face the consequences prescribed by law. When people engage in divisive action to cover up for the evil they do, it is godly people who should come out publicly and unite to condemn and resist such a move. In the words of the immediate past chairman of Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Kaduna State Chapter, Reverend Dr. John Joseph Hayab, our children and future generations will not forgive us if we keep quiet and allow evil like the revelation coming from the investigations by the Kaduna State House of Assembly to go with impunity. Accordingly, he commended the State Assembly members for showing courage to come out strongly united to call wrong by its name, irrespective of who is involved, adding that the support and prayers of the good people of Nigeria, most especially Kaduna, should not stop until every deceit is exposed. Nasir El-Rufai was once the no-nonsense minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and former governor of Kaduna State, who stood for integrity and high moral standards. All through his 8 years in office, El-Rufai displayed zero tolerance for corruption.
The standoff between the National Assembly and the embattled Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohanaye, has taken a new twist with an allegation that the minister is being victimized over her refusal to sign a $500 million World Bank loan request. The minister stated this during an interview with This Day, revealing that when such loans are obtained, World Bank staff in Nigeria take 40%. The minister has been having a running battle with the lawmakers and recently engaged in a shouting match during a committee hearing. Precisely on July 10, 2024, the minister appeared before the House of Representatives Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development over an allegation that she diverted 1.5 billion naira meant for payment of contractors by officials of the ministry she heads. The hearing degenerated into a near-physical confrontation between Kennedy Ohanaye and some House members. However, the embattled minister has now revealed that she is a victim of a well-calculated plot from a cabal. Following a strained relationship between Governor Sim Fubara and his erstwhile political godfather, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, the women wing of the Development Advocacy Group in the Niger Delta region, Voice of Niger Delta for Equity and Justice with International Association to World Peace Advocates, have called for a truce in the River State political crisis. The group, in a press conference in Abuja on Monday, appealed to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and Governor Sim Fubara to have mutual understanding for peace and harmony to prevail. Clever News Imofonokon was there and tells us more.
Rivers State has been embroiled in a political crisis since late last year, following a fallout between the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara. While President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had waded into the conflict and the tussle seemed to have faded away, the drama took a new twist a few weeks back. In a press conference in Abuja on Monday, Ambassador Susi Ebibore and Ambassador Ebiborebo Success and Messi Jakari said it will be improper as women and mothers to fold their arms and watch the political drama rear its ugly head in the state.
It is in the best of knowledge that it will be improper for us as women and mothers to fold our arms to watch this political drama rear its ugly head. In the light of this, we, the women of Niger Delta in Abuja and Northern Nigeria and eminent peace ambassadors of the International Association of World Peace Advocates, call for a truce over the crisis emanating from Rivers State.
The women wing of a development advocacy group in the Niger Delta therefore called on FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to establish a mutual understanding with Governor Sim Fubara.
As we, the Niger Delta women in Abuja and the Northern Nigeria, in a concerted effort, is appealing to Honorable Minister Wike to establish a mutual understanding with Governor Sim Fubara for peace and harmony to prevail. We, as women and mothers, know that whenever there is crisis, certain individuals take advantage of the issues to benefit themselves, and instead of looking for a solution, will fan the embers of discord so as to continue reaping and making profit from the situation, while people are dying, fear in the land, and uncertainty and confusion rules. And so we make this call today that Honorable Minister Wike, as a father, should take the bold step to call his son to a reclusive place and discuss these issues over a drink and settle, because the peace of the state lies in just the hands of the two of them, especially the Honorable Minister. And then, by the grace of God, the world would applaud them for accepting peace. We are calling on Honorable Minister Wike. You have a golden heart. You brought Fubara to become the governor of Rivers State. You are as a father, you should calm down. Call your son. Both of you can sit down and discuss and settle this issue. If you love Rivers people, you want peace. You will make sure peace reign in Rivers State. So we are asking you as mothers, we are pleading with you. Please call your son and both of you come together and cause peace to reign in Rivers State, and God will bless you for it.
Recall that a similar attempt was made by former President of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, for a truce in the Rivers State political crisis, asking Governor Sim Fubara and his predecessor Nyesom Wike to work together. Imefonokun reporting for Clever News.
A tragedy almost struck when the first rear gear tires of a MAX aircraft carrying 119 passengers and 6 crew members busted after it was cleared for takeoff. Meanwhile, the remaining 2 also went the way of the initial one while attempting to taxi off the aircraft from the runway. This was disclosed to journalists by the Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Bimbo Oladeji, at 11:22 p.m. on Sunday. Olajide, however, added that no death nor injury was recorded from the development. Similarly, in 2023, a report by the NSIB indicted the airline for overwriting the cockpit voice recorder of the serious incident, which occurred on May 7, 2023 on landing at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The report also accused the airline of feigning ignorance of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority's All Operators Letter NCAA/FSG/AOL/19/03 in respect of a continuous overwriting of CVR information. This was after an aircraft belonging to the same airline departed Abuja for Yola as NGL 1648. The NSIB report said that the aircraft was on the ground in Yola for about 30 minutes before the turnaround for Abuja. It was, however, gathered that the takeoff, the landing gear was left extended for 3 minutes to allow cooling due to the high temperature of the ground in Yola Airport. However, at 2:08 p.m., Nigeria Air Force personnel from the Air Force hangar close to the runway 35 reported to Yola Control Tower that an object appearing like a tire fell off from the departing LNG 1649. The Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DEPOA, this Monday carried out a community outreach program for internally displaced persons at the Durumi camp in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Clevis Gloria Atta reports that the one-day event, which coincides with the birthday anniversary of its president, Ogogo Musa, is aimed at showing love to the vulnerable and providing succor to their plight, especially at this time the country is faced with a myriad of socio-economic challenges. The report.
It is no news that Nigeria is currently faced with an unprecedented wave of different but overlapping security challenges, including banditry, kidnapping, extremist insurgencies, among others, which have led to loss of lives and displacement of thousands of citizens. The country is credited with the third highest number of internally displaced persons, IDPs, in Africa, with over 1.8 million people, of which women and children constitute 87%, are affected by the continued widespread insecurity and hostilities in the country. Reports shows that the condition of IDPs are dire, harsh, and increasingly becoming critical due to poor living conditions, safety challenges, psychological trauma, harassment, abuse and molestation, poor sanitation, among others. As part of efforts geared towards supporting the welfare of Nigerians both within and outside the barrack community, members of the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DEPOA, defied the reins to reach out to internally displaced persons at the Durumi camp in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Speaking at the event, the DEPOA president, Ogogo Musa, said the event, which coincides with her birthday anniversary, is aimed at showing love and support to the vulnerable, as well as providing succor to their plights in the wake of various socio-economic challenges bedeviling the country.
We gather here not only to mark my special day, but also to demonstrate our commitment to serving and supporting those in need. To the internally displaced persons here today, I want to assure you that we see through your struggles, we hear your stories, and we are dedicated to helping you in any little way we can. Each pregnant woman here, we get a delivering pack to ensure a safe and clean delivery of your young ones. In addition to the medical outreach, I cannot ignore the plight of our displaced persons with regards to their nutrition, needs. So I'm also donating 90 bags of rice and 300 mosquito nets. I'm truly honored and grateful to God Almighty for His mercies and protection over my life.
Beneficiaries of the initiative, while lauding the move, used the opportunity to call on the government and other well-meaning Nigerians to help address the various needs of IDPs in the country.
We are so happy because of our mama that come to us, Ms. Musa from Defense Headquarters. So today, everybody in face are shining because of the goods that she bring for us. She give us health, and she give us food, and she put smile on our face, on our children's face. So we are so glad, we are so happy. Our good Nigerian government, let them take the example from our mommy. If to say all our people, these big people that they are in the National Assembly or government, everything, if they are doing like our mommy, I think say you are not in the camp now. Everybody will get in own place to go and continue living another life.
The gesture saw the distribution of basic food items and provisions such as rice, garri, noodles, fruits, as well as the distribution of starter kits to pregnant women and lots more. Other high points from the event also included free medical checkups, a health talk, games and dance presentations from children at the event. Gloria Atta, reporting for Clearview News.
In a significant development, Egypt and Nigeria are redefining their historic ties, tapping into their vast economic and cultural potentials to forge a modern and forward-looking partnership. In a speech commemorating the Arab Republic of Egypt's Independence Day celebration, Egypt's ambassador to Nigeria, Mohammed Fawood, highlighted the country's historic ties with Nigeria and the ongoing efforts to strengthen their partnership. Both nations are committed to addressing pressing challenges such as human capital investments, energy transition, infrastructural development, bolstering economic growth, job creation, combating terrorism and extremism, as well as women and youth empowerment.
Terrorism is now maybe the biggest security threats that Egypt, Nigeria, and the entire continent is grappling with. This is why it's important for Egypt and Nigeria to work together when it comes to countering terrorism and extremism, in terms of exchanging experience, in terms of capacity building for counterterrorism experts. We have been working with our Nigerian brothers and sisters here when it comes to countering extremism. So in terms of volume of trade, the numbers of 2023 is around $190 million. This is bilateral trade. As I said earlier, these figures really fall short of the potentials of Egypt and Nigeria as the biggest two economies on the continent, especially as the Continental Free Trade Area Agreement has come into force, which makes it easier for inter-African trade and for African countries to do business together. And this is why we are really looking forward to the upcoming Nigeria-Egypt Business Council in terms of trying to explore how to enhance bilateral trade and also how to enhance our investment relations, whether bringing Egyptian investments to Nigeria. Nigeria has great potential in different sectors, whether it's agriculture or mining or services. So that's something that we intend to focus on in the coming few months.
Preparations are on the way for Egypt and Nigeria to hold the third round of bilateral political consultations in Abuja, focusing on security, counter-terrorism, energy, communications, digital transformation, trade, infrastructure, agriculture, healthcare, and modern education later this year. Additionally, the Egypt-Nigeria Business Council meeting is scheduled for September in Lagos, aimed at connecting business communities and exploring ways to enhance bilateral trade and investment relations. The Israeli military has ordered civilians to temporarily evacuate part of its designated humanitarian zone in southern Gaza ahead of what it called a forceful operation against Palestinian armed groups. The military said there have been significant terrorist activity and rocket fire from eastern neighborhoods of the city of Khan Yunis and told residents to head to the adjusted Al-Mawasi humanitarian area. Palestinians reported that the announcement was followed by intense Israeli air and artillery strikes in and around Khan Yunis. Meanwhile, Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry said at least 14 people, including 6 children and 4 women, have been killed. And that's the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Dex, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Florence Joshua. Bye for now. Should I stand up?
Yeah. Take the reverse story again. That word is truce.
Okay. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Dex. We will be back after this break. Stay with us. Tolerance implies no lack of commitment to one's own beliefs. Rather, it condemns the oppression or persecution of others. Welcome back. A gunman who has reportedly opened fire in a nursing home in Croatia on Monday, killing at least 5 people in a rare instance of a gun violence in the Balkan country. Reports said the unidentified gunman entered a nursing home in Daruva, some 130 kilometers 80 miles east of Zagreb, and opened fire, killing at least 5 and several others sustaining injuries during the shooting. It was gathered that the alleged suspect who fled was later arrested by police. Meanwhile, local newspaper Jutrinjin described the alleged shooter as a war veteran who killed his mother along other residents and staff. However, reasons for the shooting are yet to be ascertained. The Israeli military has ordered civilians to temporarily evacuate part of its designated humanitarian zone in southern Gaza ahead of what it called a forceful operation against Palestinian armed groups. The military said there have been significant terrorist activity and rocket fire from eastern neighborhoods of the city of Khan Yunis, and told residents to head to the adjusted Al-Mawasi humanitarian area. Palestinians reported that the announcement was followed by intense Israeli air and artillery strikes in and around Khan Yunis. Meanwhile, Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry said at least 14 people, including 6 children and 4 women, have been killed. And that's the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. The Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy, has said her refusal to sign a controversial $500 million loan request was the reason behind her recent outrage at the National Assembly. The Israeli military has ordered civilians to temporarily evacuate part of its designated humanitarian zone in southern Gaza ahead of what it called a forceful operation against Palestinian armed groups. Tragedy almost struck on Sunday when the first rear gear tires of a MAX aircraft carrying 119 passengers and 6 crew members busted after it was cleared for takeoff. Meanwhile, the remaining 2 also went the way of the initial one while attempting to taxi off the aircraft from the runway. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Clearview News Dex, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Florence Joshua. Bye for now.